25 years. He had it all. But this is to be the last time he will walk down the aisle to get into the ring in boxing trunks and robe. More than the greatest boxer of all time, he was the idol whose every move in and out of the ring showed what black pride really meant. On this memorable night of December 10th, 1965, this extraordinary, this exuberant, this flamboyant farewell to boxing was his perfect curtain call. Presently, Ray has placed his boxing legend gently aside. He's become physically and emotionally involved with his youth foundation for underprivileged children. His young teenagers are all vaguely aware that this soft-spoken man who teaches them is someone very special. Every legend has a beginning, and 1939 was the year. The magnificent Henry Armstrong retains his welterweight crown with a one-sided decision over Ernie Roderick in London. Slick boxing Billy Conn becomes the new light heavyweight champion. Also in 1939, a portly light heavyweight in white trunks wins the National Diamond Belt Amateur title. His name on the program is listed as Jacob LaMotta. Heavyweight champion Joe Louis continues to destroy all opposition. Two-ton Tony Galento is one of the victims. In New York City, the finals of the 1939 Golden Glove boxing competition take place in Madison Square Garden. Heavyweight champion Joe Louis is refereeing one of the amateur finals, which makes the night all the more colorful. But tonight's crowd is anxiously awaiting the featherweight finals. An 18-year-old youngster has stormed through his previous bouts to reach tonight's finals. His name is Ray Robinson.
Ray Robinson in white trunks comes out for round one against Louis Valentine. This is the finals in the featherweight division of the 1939 Golden Gloves. In reaching tonight's final, Robinson has shown everyone that there's a brilliant young star rising in the boxing world. In his 5 bouts prior to tonight, only one man has gone the full 3-round distance. Robinson was awarded round 1 by all the judges. Here in round 2, Louis Valentine in black trunks is unable to cope with this fast-punching fighter. Although only 19, Robinson appears to have a boxing finesse far beyond his years. A pulverizing right crashes off Valentine's jaw. Valentine goes down, and the referee picks up the count. Valentine is up at the count of 5, and Robinson moves in to finish it. Ray would love to add Valentine to his list of KO victims here in round 2. In round 3, it's all Ray Robinson. Louis Valentine in dark trunks has shown tremendous courage, hanging in there with one of the most vicious punching amateurs ever seen in Golden Glove competition. The referee separates the two fighters. Ray has impressed everyone with his masterful boxing. 19-year-old Ray Robinson is awarded a unanimous decision over a game Louis Valentine and wins the featherweight division of the 1939 Golden Glove.
1946 sees the invincible Joe Louis record his 22nd title defense, once again over Billy Conn. The Brown Bomber followed Ray's career closely throughout the years, and today recalls his impression of Robinson.
I think pound for pound, he was the greatest of everyone that stepped in the ring. Ray Robinson was the best fighter that ever stepped in the ring because he could punch. And even now, when he used to back away from him, he could knock out with a left hook. I saw him knock out people with left hook. So generally, a fighter who backs away from someone can't hurt you. But Robinson, when he could hurt you backing away from him, somebody coming in and tell you. Oh, I saw him at his best, and he was the best fighter that ever lived, pound for pound.
Just 2 weeks after the Louis Conn bout, Ray takes on Tony Riccio. This rare film, taken by a spectator, is the only existing record of this fight in 1946. Robinson, in magnificent form, sends the crowd home early with a 4th-round TKO. There seems to be no stopping Robinson's rise to the top of the welterweight ladder. 3 weeks later, Ray stops Cliff Beckett, here shown in another unique home movie of this exciting young fighter. Unbelievably, Robinson and Sammy Angot weigh in just 6 days later. With the winner promised a shot at the welterweight title, Robinson and former lightweight champion Angot fought toe-to-toe for 10 punishing rounds. But superior hand speed and accurate counterpunching were the difference as Ray wins a unanimous 10-round decision. Ray takes on Freddie Flores as he continues to climb the welterweight ladder. Flores, a seasoned club fighter, is no match for the awesome two-handed attack of Robinson and falls in 5. Shown in a home movie taken by a friend, Ray relaxes before turning in. The press and boxing fraternity have affectionately nicknamed him Sugar Ray for the sweet manner in which he demonstrates his classic moves in the ring. All that Ray has worked and trained for will be severely tested tomorrow night. Ray will enter the ring in Madison Square Garden with the welterweight championship of the world on the line. Tommy Bell on the left and Ray Robinson square off for the most important fight of their lives. They're fighting for the world title left vacant by champion Marty Servos' retirement. There can be no mistakes. Robinson, boxing brilliantly, lands repeatedly with rapier-like lefts. Bell takes everything Ray can throw and lands telling blows of his own. After a masterful 15 rounds of boxing, Ray Robinson becomes the new welterweight champion of the world. In 1947, the boxing world is stunned. While gaining a controversial 15-round victory over Jersey Joe Walcott, Joe Louis hits the canvas twice. It had been 6 years since Joe was last decked. Scrappy Georgie Abrams is Ray's 1947 opponent in a non-title encounter. The rugged Abrams' latest barn burner was a close, tough 15-round loss to murderous punching Tony Zale for the middleweight title. The fighters are introduced. There were no professional movies taken. Fortunately, a fan in the far-off balcony shot this somewhat viewable home movie. Robinson is seen pummeling Abrams, demonstrating a superb mastery of boxing skills. Explosive combinations like these brought the Madison Square Garden crowd to its feet and gained Ray Robinson a one-sided unanimous decision. June 1947, Robinson signs to fight California's Jimmy Doyle in the first defense of his welterweight crown. What took place before and after that fight will live in Robinson's memory forever.
The night before the fight with him, I dreamed in my sleep that I knocked him out and he died in the ring. And I got up that morning and I told the commission that I wasn't going to fight. And they said, why? And I told them what I had dreamed, Aldo. They said, oh, Ray, no, that's just a dream. And they called a Catholic priest and a minister. And they came and they talked to me and told me to go ahead with the fight. And just like we dreamed, Aldo, I hit him a left hook and he died right there in the ring. It's terrible when you have a premonition before. You know, I had the premonition before that this was going to happen. And for a long time, Aldo, I couldn't fight. I couldn't fight. When I started again, I couldn't hit a man hard, you know. I was very trying.
Boxing fans are ecstatic as 1948 produces a wealth of memorable grudge fights. Louis KO's Walcott. Two great champions meet for the third time. Former middleweight king Tony Zale and champion Rocky Graziano had split 2 previous meetings. This rubber match belongs to Zale. 1948 sees a Frenchman, Marcel Cerdan, climb to the top of the middleweight ladder with an exciting style. Just for fun, and the cameramen, Cerdan spars with countryman Maurice Chevalier, while the public clamors for a Cerdan-Zale title fight. Cerdan soon becomes a French idol when he captures the World Middleweight Championship. Just 2 days later, Robinson meets leading welterweight contender Kid Gavilan. Although a non-title fight, both men fought furiously and had the Yankee Stadium crowd in a frenzy. Only experience made the difference, as Robinson receives the judge's nod after 10 brilliant action-packed rounds. In 1949, Jake LaMotta, the only man to defeat Robinson, signs to fight middleweight champ Marcel Cerdan. LaMotta forces the action throughout and becomes the new middleweight king when Cerdan is unable to answer the bell for the 10th round. 3 weeks later in Philadelphia, Cuba's Kid Gavilan is given a shot at Ray's welterweight crown. Gavilan is out to revenge his loss to Robinson of 1 year ago. The 29-year-old Robinson is giving away 6 years to his younger challenger. Both men perform brilliantly as they exchange savage punches again and again. When the final bell sounds, Ray Robinson is still champion of the world. In the summer of 1950, Charlie Fusari begins training for his upcoming title fight with Ray. With Robinson undefeated in 7 years, Fusari is faced with a monumental task. Robinson arrives at his training camp in Pompton Lakes to begin the rigors of getting in shape for the Fusari fight. To date, Sugar Ray has had 112 professional fights. He has won 111, an incredible record. The morning of the Robinson and Fusari weigh-in, suddenly a very unusual problem occurs that actually jeopardized Ray's crown.
Wait a minute, Commissioner.
He's all right, Vic.
What do you mean? No, George. Now, just a minute. Let's have an order here now. I don't think you've made it, Ray. 147.25. That means you're a quarter of a pound overweight. I think you can make the weight, and ordinarily, Vic, the weigh-in would be at 12 o'clock. This time at 11 o'clock, we advance it up for the benefit of the newspaper men and for the fighters and the photographers and so forth. And so you would ordinarily give him an hour to make that quarter of a pound difference.
Well, I'll tell you, Commissioner, ordinarily I would. But due to the fact that this is a championship fight and Sugar's got a quarter of a pound over, I'd prefer that he give that quarter of a pound of sugar to somebody that needs it and get down to the 47 pounds according to our contract.
Don't worry, he'll make it.
Well,
that's a very
nothing
nice
to worry
about. He'll make it. Very patriotic gesture, but after all, so you've got to make the 47, so we'll give you until 1 o'clock to make that quarter of a pound.
I'll make it.
A few hours later.
Let's try it again now. I hope you've done it this time, Ray. Looks like you've made it just a little bit under 147 pounds, and that's for the welterweight championship. What do you think of it, Vic? Are you satisfied?
Well, from here, it looks okay to me.
Well, then that does it, Ray. Congratulations to you. Both, Ray. May the better man win.
Well, Charlie, good luck to you. I think I need it because I haven't ate a good meal in 5 days.
15 rounds for the welterweight championship of the world. Larry Blackstock, weighing 145 and a quarter, Charlie Fusari. His opponent from New York City, wearing white trunks, weighing 147, the welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Robinson. 15 rounds for the welterweight championship of the world.
Welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Robinson, comes out for round 1 in the white trunks. Challenger Charlie Fusari is wearing black. This is Robinson's 5th defense of the welterweight crown that he won 4 years ago in a grueling battle with Tommy Bell. Both fighters feeling each other out here in the opening round. In rounds 2 through 8, both men boxed smartly and stayed out of trouble. A sidearm right, and Fusari careens across the ring. Referee Paul Cavalier wipes Charlie's gloves and tells the fighters to continue. Fusari's hometown Jersey fans are all behind the challenger. Fusari must be careful in there. He knows Robinson carries dynamite in both hands. A series of punishing body shots forces Fusari to back off. Robinson has built up a commanding lead. Here in the closing moments of the bout, Robinson looks certain to retain his crown. There's the bell ending the fight. When the decision is announced, it's no surprise. Sugar Ray Robinson retains his crown with a unanimous decision over game Charlie Fusari.
With 1950 almost history, Sandy Sadler regains the featherweight title from Willie Pep. And Jake LaMotta successfully defends the middleweight title, stopping Laurent Dotiel in Detroit. Now Robinson wants Jake LaMotta at his world middleweight title. With the new year just weeks away, Ray travels to Europe to campaign in the heavier middleweight division. In Paris, Gene Stock, ranking middleweight contender, is victim number 1. Stock goes in 2. Luc Van Dam crumbles in Brussels. And Hans Stretz is dispensed with in Frankfurt. '51 arrives. Robinson is with Joe Louis and boxing commissioner James Farley in New York. Ray is presented with the coveted Edward J. Neal Award for the boxer who had done most for the sport during 1950. A few weeks later, the 1951 Golden Gloves take place in New York City. A young 16-year-old middleweight named Floyd Patterson in black trunks exhibits some fancy footwork and head moves not often seen in the ring. Ray goes into training for the biggest fight of his career, Jake LaMotta and the world middleweight title. Ray knows it will be no ping-pong match. Middleweight champion Jake LaMotta is in training, deadly serious. Jake is always beautifully prepared to go the full 15-round distance, if necessary. And with Robinson already being compared to legendary welterweight kings Henry Armstrong and Mickey Walker, LaMotta goes through his workouts with only one thought: stop Ray Robinson.
I remember that evening because I had fought Jake LaMotta 6 times. We fought LaMotta. I won 5 times, and he won 1. And this time was a 6th time, and it was the only time I knocked him out.
Challenger Ray Robinson in white trunks. Middleweight champion Jake LaMotta is wearing black. Both fighters have trained fiercely for tonight's Battle of Champions and look to be in superb condition. Champion LaMotta, the slugger. Challenger Ray Robinson, the master boxer puncher. A flurry of punches sends LaMotta back toward the ropes. There's no feeling each other out as Robinson throws wicked hooks and uppercuts at the champion. This is LaMotta's 3rd defense of the middleweight title he won 2 years ago from Marcel Cerdan. Robinson looks like he wants to end it here in the opening round. LaMotta covers up from another turn of punches. In his last fight 5 months ago, LaMotta KO'd Laurent Dotiel to successfully defend his middleweight crown. Robinson's last fight was only 7 weeks ago. On Christmas Day, Ray stopped Hans Stretz in Frankfurt. In rounds 2 through 10, LaMotta forced the action, but it was Robinson who landed the more telling blows. Here in round 11, there is no let-up in the action. LaMotta always trying to get inside where his body punches do the most damage, but Robinson's jolting left jab has kept Jake off all evening. LaMotta has Ray cornered and opens up with hammer-like blows. Punches rain from all angles as Robinson attempts to ward off the infuriated champion. Unbelievably, Robinson comes back with a combination that stops the champion in his tracks. Robinson, always moving, always jabbing, seems to have recovered from that barrage of punches thrown by LaMotta. Round 12 was very close. Here in the 13th round, a flurry of rights and lefts stagger LaMotta, and he holds on. This has been one of the greatest middleweight title fights in recent memory. Robinson, always throwing that stinging left jab at the champion's head, has kept LaMotta off him throughout the fight. A series of devastating punches hurts LaMotta. It's unbelievable the amount of punishment the champion has withstood tonight. Only great stamina and fantastic courage are keeping him in there. Robinson lands again. The referee is keeping a close eye on LaMotta. Robinson appears to be in complete control here in the 13th round. Robinson throwing bombs. LaMotta is in desperate trouble. The referee wisely steps in and stops the fight. Ray Robinson is the new middleweight champion of the world.
The new title holder receives the prestigious middleweight championship belt from Nat Fleischer, editor and publisher of the respected Ring magazine. The newly crowned champion journeys to Europe to meet some of their top middleweights and once again wreaks havoc abroad. Gene Wolzak falls in Liège. On to Berlin, where Gerhard Hecht crumbles in two. Meanwhile, in England, 23-year-old Briton Randy Turpin does some destruction of his own as he ascends the weight ladder to earn a title fight with Robinson. Randy lets reporters at ringside know he's ready with a confident wink of the eye.
It's London, England for the middleweight championship of the world. Challenger Randy Turpin in striped trunks. Champion Ray Robinson in the all-dark. In rounds 1 through 11, Turpin boxed brilliantly and was slightly ahead in the scoring. Here in round 12, Robinson is finding it difficult to score against the clever challenger. Torrid punches by both fighters, and a crashing left hook by Robinson brings the crowd to its feet. By far the best exchange of the fight. Robinson must continue to land bombs like that if he intends to retain his title. This is Turpin's 7th fight this year. No one has gotten past the 7th round against the determined Englishman. There's the bell ending round 12 as a confident Randy Turpin returns to his corner. In rounds 13 and 14, Turpin continued to outbox the champion. Surprisingly, Robinson has not been able to handle this slick boxing challenger. The highly partisan crowd is on the edge of their seats, realizing Randy is just moments away from winning the middleweight championship of the world. There's the bell ending the fight. The two men affectionately embrace after 15 hard-fought rounds. The referee raises Turpin's hand, signaling that Randy is the new middleweight king. A despondent Robinson congratulates the new champion.
Overnight, Turpin becomes a national hero in England. On the day following the fight, Randy's hometown of Leamington Spa welcomes their new champion in a manner befitting royalty.
It was a great fight on Tuesday, and I'm naturally very proud to bring the honour of the middleweight championship of the world back to England and Warwickshire. I must tell you how grateful I am to my manager, my trainer, my family and many others who have helped me so much throughout my career. Well, I'm not much at making speeches, but anyway, you all know what I mean in my own language. Thanks a million.
Ray returns home a former champion, but still loved and honored.
I had a very nice time in Europe. Very sorry that I did not bring back the championship, but I promise you I'll do the best I can September the 12th to bring the middleweight championship back to America. I'm sure that the new champion will do the best he can to hold that championship for England a long time. But well, I think we both have the same idea. I kind of want to get it back here to America.
Always a champion in the hearts of the people, Ray receives a scroll for his generous contributions to cancer research from Mayor Vincent Impellitteri and columnist newscaster Walter Winchell. Shortly after Ray's return, Randy Turpin arrives in New York to sign for a rematch to take place in September at the Polo Grounds. A few weeks later, Jersey Joe Walcott, with one thunderous left hook, becomes the 17th heavyweight champion of the world. Born Arnold Raymond Cream, this great heavyweight adopted the name of Joe Walcott from the legendary turn-of-the-century welterweight champion. In later years, Walcott was asked his opinion of Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh, Sugar Ray Robinson was a great boxer, great puncher, smart. He knew how to move. He knew how to counter. He did everything and did it well. Sugar Ray, I think, is one of the all-time greats. I think he'll go down in the history along with the original Joe Walcott as the greatest welterweight champ we ever had.
Robinson goes into training at Pompton Lakes. There's nothing that he wants more than to get back the middleweight title. Here's a dazzling display of rope skipping, which the crowd loves.
Hello, everybody. Well, today is about my third day of boxing. Trying to get in condition the best I can to be able to bring the middleweight championship back to America. I'm coming along fine, of course, rather slowly because we've got quite a few days yet to go. So I promise you all I'll do the best that I can to bring the middleweight championship back here in America again.
Great Joe Louis visits with Ray just days before the all-important Turpin rematch. Robinson is ready. It's the morning of the fight, and the atmosphere at the weigh-in is electric.
Ray Robinson in white and Randy Turpin in black at war in the Polo Ground. Robinson wants the middleweight crown back and is going right out after the champion. During the first 4 rounds, Robinson landed repeatedly with sharp left jabs and long rights. Here in round 5, there is a look of supreme confidence in Ray Robinson. The bell ends round 5. Turpin won rounds 6 and 7. Robinson, although bleeding badly from a cut over the eye, won rounds 8 and 9. Here in round 10, referee Ruby Goldstein is keeping a close watch on Ray's eye and may decide to stop the contest. An explosive combination hurts Turpin. A crushing right hand sends Turpin to the canvas here in round 10. Goldstein sends Robinson to a neutral corner and picks up the count. Turpin is up at the count of 8, and Robinson moves in to finish it. Robinson raining punches on champion Randy Turpin here in round 10. Turpin trying to protect himself from Robinson as Ray swarms all over him. Referee Goldstein is watching the action closely and steps in to protect Turpin from receiving further punishment. Sugar Ray has done it. Robinson has regained the middleweight title by stopping courageous Randy Turpin.
The next morning, Robinson awakes the new middleweight champion of the world, but not without a souvenir of the fight.
Give me one.
Give Daddy a big kiss. Another one.
During the fight, up until the time of the knockout, I felt that I was ahead. And after the 8th round, my manager and I had gotten together, and my trainer, Pee Wee Beal, that I should coast for a couple of rounds and go all out in the last 5 rounds. But after I had a little misfortune getting my eye cut, when I saw that blood, well, I don't know, I forgot about the plans and said this is the time to go all out. And I was very happy that I was able to connect with a solid blow to put Mr. Turpin down. I'm very happy to have regained the middleweight championship of the world.
Baseball immortal Jackie Robinson presents an award to 2 distinguished athletes.
It gives me a great deal of pleasure on behalf of the Harlem YMCA to present to Roy Campanella the 1951 Annual Sports Achievement Award for his outstanding contribution to the Brooklyn Ball Club and for winning the Most Valuable Player Award in the National League. Roy Campanella. And to Ray Robinson, his award is not only for the wonderful way that he came back and won his middleweight championship, but also for the deeds that he did in representing all of us while he was over in the foreign countries and the wonderful work he did over there. Certainly another pleasure on my part to present to you, Ray Robinson, this Achievement Award.
Thank you, Jackie. The words thank you are comparatively small for the way that I feel right now, but what else could you say on an occasion like this? Thank you.
"1951 is also the end of one era and the beginning of another. The Brockton blockbuster Rocky Marciano ends the ring career of Joe Louis. Although no punches are thrown, Robinson is on the receiving end once again. Boxing Commissioner Eddie Egan and trainer George Gainsford present Ray with the 1951 Boys Athletic League Award for outstanding service to the younger generation. San Francisco, 1952. Just moments away from the opening bell, Robinson versus Bobo Olson.
Champion Sugar Ray Robinson is wearing white trunks. Challenger Carl Bobo Olson is in dark. During the first 3 rounds, both men scored frequently. Here in round 4, there is no let-up in the action. A lightning combination by Robinson, and Olson comes back with a devastating right hand to the head. Either man could end it with one punch. This is Robinson's first bout since regaining the middleweight crown from Randy Turpin 6 months ago. Robinson opens up again. Sharp punching by both fighters. This is the second meeting between these 2 men. Robinson scored a 12th round knockout over Olson 2 years ago for the Pennsylvania Middleweight Championship. Robinson won round 5 with accurate counterpunching. Here in round 6, the champion appears to have a slight lead in the scoring. An explosive combination hurts Olsen, and Robinson pummels the challenger from all angles. Torrid punches by both fighters bring the crowd to its feet. The bell ends round 6. In rounds 7 through 14, both fighters fought tactically, with neither man giving an inch. Here in round 15, Robinson unleashes another barrage of punches to secure his lead in the scoring. There's the bell ending this great fight. When the decision is announced, Sugar Ray Robinson is awarded a unanimous 15-round decision over clever Carl Bobo Olsen and retains his middleweight crown.
1952 sees 3 young amateur boxers make headlines. The first is Charles Liston, nicknamed Sonny, in white, competing in the AAU heavyweight championships against Julius Griffin. Then 17-year-old Floyd Patterson wins the Olympic middleweight championship in Helsinki. And in the same Helsinki Games, Sweden's Ingemar Johansson in dark trunks is disqualified in attempting to outdance Ed Sanders of the U.S. Former middleweight champion Rocky Graziano blasts his way through all opposition and now is in line for a shot at Robinson. Rocky has KO'd 17 of his last 20 opponents, just like this. Described as a dream match, boxer against slugger, Graziano goes into training to recapture the precious middleweight crown.
Middleweight champion of the world, Ray Robinson, is in white. Former champion Rocky Graziano wearing dark trunks. Robinson must be very careful with Graziano. The Rock is one of the most vicious right-hand punchers in the history of the middleweight division. Robinson opens up with a flurry of punches, and Graziano comes right back with a dynamite overhead right that sends the champion to the canvas. Robinson is up immediately. The champion using that magnificent left jab to keep Graziano at a distance. Ray wants no more of Graziano's lethal right hand. Graziano trying to get inside Ray's left to deliver those punishing right-hand bombs. Robinson is content to keep away from Graziano and pick up the points, scoring with left jab. A right hand explodes off Graziano's jaw and he crumbles to the canvas. Robinson moves to a neutral corner as the referee picks up the count. It's all over with one punch. Ray Robinson successfully defends his middleweight title over former champ Rocky Graziano.
Having won the welterweight and middleweight titles, Robinson has his eyes set on being only the 3rd man in boxing history to hold 3 world championships. While Robinson Maxim is on everyone's mind, Rocky Marciano's awesome punching lifts the heavyweight crown from Jersey Joe Walcott. Light heavyweight champion Maxim prepares to defend his crown. Robinson takes a brief timeout to receive another award.
Sugar Ray Robinson, the Father's Day Committee is deeply honored to name you the sports father of 1952. Here's your medal and my heartiest congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. At a time like this, so full I don't know just what to say, but I'm as happy as I was the night my wife presented me with my young son. Thank you.
Robinson and Maxim weigh in. Not since Mickey Walker fought Maxie Rosenblum 20 years ago has the middleweight champion challenged the reigning light heavyweight king.
I had won the welterweight and the middleweight, and I had beaten most of the fighters around in my class, and the people wanted to see me fight the light heavyweight champion, Joey Maxim. And if I had been able to finish the fight, I would have won the light heavyweight championship.
Light heavyweight champion of the world, Joey Maxim, is wearing white trunks. Challenger Ray Robinson wearing dark. Both men throwing bombs. The temperature at ringside is over 100 degrees and could be a deciding factor in the fight. Joey Maxim won the World Light Heavyweight Championship 2 years ago with a 10th round knockout over Freddie Mills in London. A blistering combination backs up Maxim. Robinson out punching the light heavyweight champion. Here in round 2, Robinson continues to box magnificently. A left-right combination hurts Maxim, and Robinson pours it on. Another tremendous flurry sends Maxim back again. In rounds 3 through 12, Ray built up a commanding lead in the scoring, but the oppressive heat has taken its toll on the lighter Robinson. Maxim has pursued Robinson throughout the fight, but has been unable to score effectively. The challenger looks very tired, almost limp, here in the closing moments of the 13th round. There's the bell. Robinson, exhausted, staggers back to his corner with the help of his cornerman. The horrible heat has taken its toll on the ever-moving Ray Robinson. The doctor comes over to look at Ray. It's hard to see how he can continue.
Joey Maxim retains his title when Ray is unable to answer the bell for the 14th round. #1 middleweight contender Rocky Castellani is Ray's only obstacle to a title fight. Since losing to Jones, Robinson has put together back-to-back victories, but he hasn't looked impressive, and many authorities feel that the 35-year-old Robinson is making a big mistake fighting rugged Castellani.
How do you feel?
I feel fine. I wish I feel as good as he said I look.
You have any trouble getting down to fighting trim?
I don't think anyone will have any trouble in this heat, Denny.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of warm in here, you know.
You gonna win?
Well, if we didn't think he's going to win, we would never take the fight.
Well, a lot of luck to you, Ray.
Thanks a
George,
lot,
I hope
Denny.
you get a winner again.
Thank you. A lot of luck to you, George. If you don't get a good seat at the fight, you can have mine. Oh, no.
Sugar Ray Robinson in white. Rocky Castellani is wearing black. Rounds 1 and 2 saw both men exchange punches freely. Here in round 3, there appears to be no let-up. This is a must-win fight for Ray. He wants Carl Bobo Olsen and the middleweight title. A furious combination by Robinson forces Castellani to hold on. Both men want to end it right here. In round 4, Robinson scored with left jabs and won the round. Here in round 5, it's still anybody's fight. A smashing left hook and short right sends Robinson to the canvas. The referee sends Castellani to a neutral corner and picks up the count. The former champion is up at 9 and is met with an avalanche of leather. Ray holds on, trying to clear his head from that ripping left hook. Castellani won rounds 6 and 7 with aggressive punching. Robinson boxed brilliantly to win rounds 8 and 9. Here in the 10th and closing round, it's too close to call. There's the bell, ending this magnificent fight. Let's listen to the decision.
Judge Jack Silver scores 56 points. Castellani 54. Judge Ivy Carter scores the fight 56 points for Robinson, 54.
Robinson has seen Rocky Marciano become champion, and now in 1956 watches him bid farewell to boxing.
Gentlemen, I would like to announce my retirement from boxing at this time. I did never really get hurt in the ring, and I feel perfect physically, and probably still had 2 or 3 good fights left.
While Marciano symbolically hangs up his gloves, Robinson is busy defending his title.
It's Los Angeles, California, May 18th, 1956. Ray Robinson in white, Carl Bobo Olson in black go at it again a 4th time. Robinson pouring it on here in the opening round. Olson holds. In rounds 2 and 3, Robinson repeatedly with long right hand. Here in round 4, the champion appears to be in complete control. A lightning flurry and a pulverizing left hook drops Olson like a fallen tree. The referee is counting. It's all over. Sugar Ray Robinson successfully defends his middleweight crown with a 4th round bombing of former champ Carl Bobo Olson.
In 1956, young Floyd Patterson defeats Archie Moore to become the new heavyweight champion. In a modern-day private moment, Patterson, the New York State Boxing Commissioner, was asked his opinion of Sugar Ray.
I thought he was a great fighter. A great fighter. I loved his combinations and his speed, the way he operated. I admired the way Sugar Ray Robinson threw his combinations. I have never seen, of all the champions I have viewed, I have never seen a champion quite as determined as he. I have never seen a fighter throw punches so short that does so much damage, the 6-inch punch. And till this day, I've never seen anyone like him.
January 2nd, 1957. Robinson has agreed to defend his title against Utah's Gene Fulmer. It's the morning of the fight, and the 2 men go through the official weigh-in.
Champion Robinson is in white. Challenger Gene Fulmer is wearing black. In the first 6 rounds, neither man was in serious trouble. Here in round 7, it's all even. Fulmer earned tonight's title fight by going undefeated this year with victories over Rocky Castellani and Ralph Tiger Jones. Both men working on the inside. Robinson goes down and through the ropes. Ray is up immediately. The referee wipes his gloves and tells the fighters to continue. The champion looks completely recovered from that trip to the canvas. Fulmer's unorthodox boxing style of lunging forward is very difficult for Robinson to defend against. Sharp punching by the champion Robinson. Both fighters throwing out all the stops here in round 7. In rounds 8 through 14, Fulmer was very aggressive and seemed to have endless stamina. Here in the 15th and final round, it appears that the challenger is ahead in the judges' scoring. A good flurry on the inside by Robinson. There's the bell, ending the fight. The two men congratulate each other on 15 hard-fought rounds. Moments later, the decision is announced. Gene Fulmer outpoints Sugar Ray Robinson and wins the middleweight championship of the world.
Newly crowned champion Gene Fulmer is seen getting in a few strokes with former heavyweight champion Joe Louis. Fulmer has signed to give Ray a return bout and prove that his victory in New York was no accident.
Well, I think Gene Fulmer's a great competitor, a very wonderful gentleman, and a very nice champion. I think that I have fought fellows that I would say was equally as rough and as determined as Jake LaMotta and quite a few others. But all in all, I think Gene Fulmer's a great champion.
Isn't he an awfully hard man to hit?
Yes, he is. My last fight proved that. 15 rounds, I was trying to get a blow across, and I wasn't able to.
Middleweight champion of the world, Gene Fulmer in black trunks, Ray Robinson in white. Fulmer won rounds 1 and 2 with his aggressive two-fisted attack. Former champion Robinson jabbed beautifully to win rounds 3 and 4. Here in round 5, neither man has an edge. This is Sugar Ray's first fight since losing the middleweight crown to Fulmer 5 months ago. Fulmer has had 2 fights since their meeting, taking 10-round decisions from Wilfie Grieve and tough Ernie Durando. Robinson at 37 is giving away 11 years to the younger champion. Fulmer misses with a windmill right hand. Ray must be very careful to stay out of Fulmer's punching range. Robinson is content to score with his long left jab and sharp combination. Referee Frank Sikora breaks the two fighters. Tough body shots by both men. A bone-crunching left explodes off Fulmer's jaw, and he crumbles to the canvas. In slow motion, here's that perfectly timed left hook to Fulmer's jaw. There it is, and down goes Gene Fulmer. Ray Robinson walks to a neutral corner as the referee picks up the count. Fulmer gamely tries, but can't make it to his feet in time. Sugar Ray Robinson scores a sensational 5th-round knockout over tough Gene Fulmer, and for the 4th time, wins the middleweight championship of the world.
Carmen Basilio in white trunks regains the welterweight championship in 1957 with a 9th-round bombing of Johnny Saxton. Basilio sets his sights on the middleweight division and champ Robinson. June 1957. Robinson and Basilio signed to meet 3 months later in New York with the middleweight championship on the line.
I was in training 10 months, 11 months of every year. You go to sleep at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. You run 5 miles a day. You do the boxing exercises, bag, rope skipping, all the calisthenics, and then boxing.
Here at the pre-fight physical, both men appear to be in superb condition. A true dream match. The constant punching welterweight champion Basilio versus the man referred to as, pound for pound, the greatest fighter in the ring.
Sugar Ray Robinson in white and Carmen Basilio in black have been slugging it out for 10 brutal rounds. Here in round 11, the battle continues. Dynamite punching by Robinson. Basilio covers up. Unbelievably, Basilio comes back with a torrent of punches that force the champion back against the ropes. It's all Basilio here in round 11. Champion Robinson getting hit with punches from all angles. Welterweight champion Basilio wants that middleweight crown right here and now. Here in round 12, the two fighters continue to exchange furious punches. Now it's Robinson coming on. Two left hooks crash off Basilio's jaw and force him backward for the first time in the fight. The champion scores again with ponderous rights and lefts that send Basilio careening across the ring. Basilio taking everything Robinson can throw and coming back for more. Basilio survived the blasting in round 12 and unbelievably looks to be the fresher of the two here in round 13. Deadly punching by Basilio forces the champion to back off. Basilio won round 14 by a very narrow margin. Here in the 15th and final round, the challenger is slightly ahead in the scoring. A sensational flurry by Robinson here at the closing moments of this great fight. Basilio scores on the inside and hurts Robinson. Ray holds on. There's the bell ending the fight. Both men receive a standing ovation from the stadium crowd. Announcer Johnny Addy is ready to announce the judge's decision.
Judge Adi Idala scores it 9-5, 1 even, Basilio. Referee Al Bell scores it 9-6, Robinson. The other judge, Bill Recht, scores it 8-6, 1 even. The winner and new middleweight champion of the world, Carmen Basilio.
Again, Ray is a former champion. No one has ever won the middleweight title 5 times. Ray is obsessed with the idea. A rematch between Basilio and Robinson is a natural. In 1958, Ray gets his shot in Chicago. There's no love lost between these two men, and they're both in magnificent condition. It promises to be a real grudge fight.
Carmen, in all the excitement after the weigh-in, just one question. I've polled 10 sports writers from around the nation here. 9 of them picked Sugar Ray to win by a knockout tonight. What's your answer to that?
9 of them are wrong.
Thank you, Carmen.
Middleweight champion Carmen Basilio in black trunks. Former champion Robinson in white. Both men look to be in great shape and prepared to go 15 rounds if necessary. Robinson's left jab has opened a small cut above Basilio's left eye. Although minor now, with 14 rounds to go, it could be important later on. Only seconds left in this opening round. A blistering flurry at the bell, and the fighters have to be separated. Champion Basilio won rounds 2 and 3 with good punching to the body. Robinson looked to be in control in rounds 4 through 9. Here in the 10th round, Basilio's left eye has swollen badly, and he's having difficulty seeing out of it. A superb 1-2 by Robinson staggers Basilio, but the champion keeps pressing forward. A right uppercut just misses, and Basilio wades in. Basilio's eye looks completely closed. Another combination by Robinson. Basilio taking everything Robinson can throw. Robinson lands a straight right to open round 11. Only tremendous courage is keeping Basilio in there to face this masterful Ray Robinson. Robinson continues to land that stinging left jab and pile up the points. Basilio is hurt. Ray opens up and rains punches from all angles. Basilio won't give an inch. Both fighters throwing haymakers. This is the best round of the fight. Basilio was given round 12 by a very narrow margin. But here in round 13, the champion looks very weary from the constant battering he's received all night. Rushing punches by Robinson stagger the champion. Basilio continues to amaze everyone with his courage and the punishment he can withstand. The bell ends round 13. Round 14 was too close to call. Here in round 15, Robinson continues to pour it on. The referee separates the two men. Deadly, accurate punching by Robinson. Ray scoring on the inside as Basilio holds on. Ray is not letting up. Basilio is unable to counter against this brilliant boxing master. There's the bell ending this great battle. Minutes later, when the decision is announced, Ray Robinson is once again middleweight champion of the world. An incredible 5th time.
Well, Sugar Ray Robinson, I have seen several times, and he's about the best boxer I ever seen. He was everything. He was fast. He had a good left hand, and the way he was moving in the fight was absolutely enormous. And you know, he liked when he could clinch the guys up to the ropes. And every punch he threw away was a knockout punch. You know.
Robinson arrives in Boston in January 1960 to complete training for his next world title fight. Boston's flashy Paul Pender is the challenger, and Pender's hometown fans do some scouting for their hopeful.
Champion Robinson in white trunks. Challenger Paul Pender in dark. In round 1, neither man had an edge. Here in round 2, Robinson begins to press the attack. The highly partisan Boston fans pulling for Pender to wrest the crown from the champion. Pender attempting to avoid that rapier left-hand jab. Paul is boxing very carefully and appears content to outmaneuver the champion. In rounds 2 through 14, Pender relentlessly continued to jab and move. While not exciting, the tactic placed most of the stress on the legs of the 39-year-old Robinson. Here in the 15th and final round, ringside reporters have Paul ahead in the scoring. There's the final bell. The Boston fans go wild, feeling their man has won. When the verdict is announced, Paul Pender is the new middleweight champion of the world.
Once again, Robinson is a former champion, but not Floyd Patterson. In 1960, with one crushing left hook, Floyd becomes the first man in history to regain the heavyweight crown. A Robinson-Pender rematch will follow this Patterson triumph.
Boston, June 10th, 1960. Middleweight champion Pender in dark trunks, Robinson in white. Prior to tonight's fight, to no one's surprise, Pender stated his fight plan will be to jab and run, exactly as he did in their first meeting. A quick flurry by Robinson, and Pender holds on. In rounds 2 through 14, Pender's calculated tempo remains the same. Here in the closing moments of the fight, Pender appears confident that he has won again. The final bell. When the judge's decision is announced, Paul Pender wins a very close 15-round decision over Sugar Ray Robinson to retain the middleweight title.
In November 1965, just weeks after his loss to Joey Archer, Robinson announces his retirement from boxing. It has been a magnificent career that has spanned a quarter of a century and 21 world championship fights. As a parting gesture which had wildly enthusiastic approval of the world press, the boxing fraternity honors Ray with a retirement party. A final salute to Sugar Ray Robinson. Madison Square Garden, December 10th, 1965. A standing room only crowd has come to pay homage to a man they have cherished and revered for over a quarter of a century. His name represents the essence of classic grace and boxing perfection. Sugar Ray Robinson steps into the ring to gratefully acknowledge the thunderous applause. Never has the boxing world been so unanimous in its affection, and never was it so richly deserved. Ray stands in the same Madison Square Garden ring where 26 years ago he won the Golden Gloves and captured the World Welterweight Championship. This is a night he doesn't have to knock out an opponent to be declared the winner. There are 20,000 judges tonight, and they're all declaring him their permanent all-time champion. Joining in the ceremony tonight are 4 men, all champions themselves. They have come to join in honoring Ray Robinson. Clever Bobo Olson, middleweight champion of the world, whom Ray defeated to win the crown the 3rd time. Honduras punching Gene Fulmer, from whom Ray won the middleweight title a 4th time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the former middleweight champion of the world, Brian Basilio.
The magnificent Carmen Basilio, welterweight and middleweight champion, from whom Ray won the title a 5th time.
All the way from Leamington Spa in England, the former middleweight champion of the world, Randy Turpin.
The great Randy Turpin, whom Ray defeated to win the championship the 2nd time. The 2 men affectionately embrace each other. Turpin, Fulmer, Basilio, Olson, once Robinson's deadly adversaries, surround Sugar Ray to demonstrate their respect and admiration for this very special champion.